Folks, DT-Faux here with LoXus, and we're here to talk about a new episode of P4FX. Didn't drop the ball this time. Oh yeah.
Good job. That's actually pretty good this time. I have no retort or anything, dude. You got it.
All right, so you can start off with what you've been up to in the past week.
In the past week, I've been dealing with some grief. We lost a guy over at my job. He was a pretty good mentor of mine. So I was dealing with that for a little bit. On a more positive note, and I went and got some counseling. That was really dope. For those of you out there, because P4FX, we talk about video games and movies and stuff, but we also talk about real life stuff. And like, definitely, if you feel like you need help with anything mentally, make sure you go get the help you need, because you never know what could be going on with you. Because a lot of times we don't think there's something wrong, but there could actually be something wrong, and you don't want it to manifest into something bad. So kids, get your help if you need it. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your pride get in your way, and do what you got to do. Other than that, like I was stating in the last episode, I've been playing. I just played Mario Odyssey last night. That's a really good stream game, dude. Because like you're just kind of running around collecting stuff. I accidentally saved over my my save file, so that shit sucked. Let me see.
Wait, you saved over. Wait, how much progress did you lose? Is the more important thing, though.
I beat the game and almost got all the moons, but I don't care because I'm streaming it now, so I can just do it on stream. You know what I'm saying? So,
what's up?
Oh, go ahead. Well, I was gonna say yeah. That I was able to do the moon thing, and I mean it's all good though, because like I said, there's people in my stream that haven't even like got to the end of the game yet, so they can just kind of follow the story with me. Also, we what else was that? What else have I been doing? Been playing a lot of Smash, dude. I don't know what happened. Dude, I promise you, not even like 2 weeks ago, I was so over Smash. I was like, dude, F Smash. I'm tired of this game. Tired of people talking about it. Like, I'm so sick of this game, dude. Like, I want to choke people when they just spoke the name. If I've heard Smash Brothers, I was just tired of it. Like, it wasn't because of like online. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just, I got tired of it, I guess. Like, I got tired of the hype, I guess, for it. Because, like, once it became esports, it just got really annoying. And I don't know. Recently, I've been playing, and I just had a really good time. Like, I've been watching a lot of, actually, something I've been doing, and I'll let you get to your thing. I've been watching a lot of Let's Plays on YouTube. I used to watch a lot of Clement. I don't know if you guys heard of him. He's a very good Let's Player. I was watching his old videos on, like, Mega Man and Bass, and like a lot of other Mega Man games, and it really got me in a Mega Man mood. So when I got on Smash, it's like I have a different prospect when I'm playing. I'm not looking at Smash as a fighting game. I'm looking at Smash as a Mega Man game with like bosses in it. Like, it's weird. Like, I just have a weird perspective. But anyways, new revitalization of Smash. Have a lot of fun with that game. And that's pretty much it as far as what I've been up to, like, majorly this week.
Okay. Before I get into what I've been up to, I was going to say it is kind of funny that you mentioned getting tired of Smash, because that's kind of what I fell into a little bit. That, and it's been like a back and forth. Like, despite feeling tired of Smash, it's more like, you know what, I'm just done for the day or the night or for now. But when I pick it back up, I just want to keep fighting. But I'm wondering if, like, maybe the fights might be getting boring because I'm using the same character. Because I main a few characters, but I main Incineroar, and he's now my best character. But he's so much of my best character.
I'm so sorry.
Wait,
I'm so sorry.
I don't need your pity.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You definitely need my pity. Yes, you do. But it's okay though. I respect you. I respect you as a Incineroar main you are. But boy, I'm so sorry, man.
Okay, so the problem is that he's too good or that he's too bad though?
He's not bad, but it's like, I'm just picturing all the horse shit you have to go through as Incineroar when you get to a certain level of things. It's just like, you just die. Like, I don't know. Like, in fact, Incineroar is kind of falling off the face of the earth. Like, at the beginning of Smash Ultimate, there was so many. I can't stand you. There was so many Incineroars at the beginning of Smash Ultimate, and it's like they've all fallen off. I can't remember the last Incineroar I fought. That's how long it's been. And I know, I don't know, but anyways, back to what you were doing. I cut you off.
It's because they're weak. They're not strong like me.
That's exactly. I mean, I use my character's getting underutilized because they keep nerfing the shit out of my character. But
Oh,
Mega
you use
Man's been
Greninja?
coming to eat a lot. Yeah, Greninja, yeah, because he's been getting Mega Man, because he's been Greninja pretty much. They keep nerfing him every patch. So, anyways, go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
done bitching.
So to wrap up the Smash thing though, is that like I think I've kind of reached peak Incineroar for the time being, and even fighting other people, especially projectile spammers, it's not that bad as it used to be. I think it's partially because I'm figuring out the parry system. It's also because like I'm figuring out what to block, what to dodge, what to jump over. Like people start become more predictable with their projectiles because of course they're going to keep trying to space.
And
So
they
like now
nerfed
with
him on block.
and that also very much helps. So, like, just like how you kind of see using Mega Man and Smash Brothers as a boss battle, I kind of see mine in the same kind of direction where I'm trying to overcome all these obstacles. It's like that JoJo meme of like, oh, you're approaching me. It's like, well, I can't kick your butt all the way from over here, kind of thing. And it's kind of fun when it works out.
And that and your Incineroar, dude. Like your character is made to F over projectile users with your revenge. Like he's literally built for that.
When it works, but if people start to figure out like, oh, you can like, there's enough of a window from his revenge where you can hit him with it, then grab him and throw him, it like kind of makes the whole thing pointless. But not everyone's figured it out yet, and I just told the secret on stream, so oh boy. All right,
make sure I clip that so I can remember to. I'm joking.
But so yeah, things I've been up to in the last week. A lot of more video games. I do want to give out a shout out to a TV show that I've been watching on Adult Swim called Laser Wolf, and it's kind of hard to explain because it's like if you think of an Adult Swim show, it's kind of like it's pretty much that. Like when you think Adult Swim and you think Adult Swim cartoon, it's like the kind of totes random, kind of weird, crazy shenanigans, like kind of nonsensical. But due to its like art style and like the dialogue and the tone and the theme, it just kind of checks all the right boxes for me as opposed to quite a lot of other Adult Swim shows, admittedly. And you're probably wondering like, what's Laser Wolf about? And it's literally the name of it. It's about a guy who's a wolf that has a laser on his back that goes on crazy adventures with his best friend Cannon Wolf, a Yeti, and a horse named Stupid Horse. It makes more sense to watch than it is for me to explain. That's the rough thing about it, but that's also just what an Adult Swim show kind of is. So I can't say more than that, unfortunately, aside from check out the show if you have the time. They're only 11-minute episodes, so it's not really gonna eat up your entire day like someone telling you to watch the entirety of Titanic or Star Wars. Like, who has time for that?
Not me.
Exactly, me neither, honestly. And then Star Wars sucks anyway. No, I'm kidding. Star Wars is
boy, don't be bringing that kind of toxicity in my stream, boy. You better have pitchforks everywhere.
Yeah, all two of them. Oh, geez, I'm so scared.
Oh no.
Anyway, video game stuff though. I've been playing SpiderMan for PlayStation 4 on and off, and I finally bought it so I could keep playing it consistently, and it's been a super fun ride. Like, how you mentioned Mario Odyssey, like it's kind of like, I don't even want to say it's a Mario Odyssey of PlayStation games, but like in the same sense, a traversal, trying to get around the locations, trying to find ways to get to the new location. Like the movement feels so good that you can lose time just running around a playground essentially. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Like I've seen gameplay of it. Sonic Master, who's currently in the stream actually, he was actually playing the game and streaming it, and I was watching him play it, and it looked really smooth. Yeah. I like Spider-Man. I didn't get to play it yet, and you know I'm a massive Spider-Man fan, but I definitely the last Spider-Man game I played was the one on GameCube, the Spider-Man 2, and I like the open world kind of feel that game had. So I feel like once I finally get around to playing that game, I'm gonna have a really good time.
Yeah, that's funny that you mentioned Spider-Man 2 because that was like kind of the definitive Spider-Man mechanic. Like there's other ones that kind of done better and worse depending, but like that was the most memorable one as far as like open world city, fun to swing around. Like you could do literally nothing but swing around all day and have fun. So if you imagine that, but with Spider-Man PlayStation 4, like they've upped the mechanics so much that if there was a way to speedrun the game, you probably could. But because of the way the system is set up, where it's kind of like mission based rather than like just trying to get to the goal, I'm not sure if it's that much easier to to speedrun. And then I can imagine like also playing it on a PlayStation 4 Pro versus a PlayStation 4, how that might also mess up speedrun records a little bit. So you have to go like any percentage PlayStation 4 version 4K or whatever. But so I think I'm about halfway through that game. As for another game I'm playing right now is Box Boy plus Box Girl, which, are you familiar with the Box Boy series?
I've seen trailers of it, but I haven't actually played it myself, so no, I'm not too familiar with it.
Okay, well, it's from the same company that makes the Kirby games, and you can kind of tell from the design, like it being very simple. It's just kind of crazy that it's just like a white box, and that somehow counts. I think his name is QB, like QBBY, but it's essentially a puzzle game. You go from world to world, stage to stage, trying to get to the goal by solving box-based puzzles. And I'm surprised that they're able to make 4 games out of this so far, but it somehow manages to stay fresh. And in Box Boy plus Box Girl, it has a special 2-player mode where you can play as a Box Boy and or a Box Girl, single-player, multiplayer.
We get box waifus. Oh shit, that's what I'm talking about.
My box girl couldn't be this hot or beautiful or whatever that shonen anime would be.
Yeah, man.
In another world with my box girl, an isekai series. But yeah,
how to get boss girls in the dungeon.
Jeez. But yeah, fun game, interesting game. A less fun game I've been playing is Dragon's Dogma, which I don't want to call it less fun. But
more controversy.
Well, I'm trying to get the hook from it, and it's hard for me to get the hook. It's a Capcom game, which you would think, it being a Capcom game, would like kind of get me almost immediately.
Are you sure about that? Because up until recently, Capcom's been kind of. I'm not gonna get into that, but
all right. I mean, Capcom's worst problems was more the DLC, maybe possibly the execution of certain things, like giving us rush tissue boxes instead of a new Mega Man game.
Or how they gave us like a game with like absolutely nothing in it. Here's Street Fighter online, have fun. But what about our story mode and everything else that makes it a game? You know, how about that?
But I'll still go to bat for that, because at least it was done enough to the extent where people could play competitively. People wanted their story modes, and they eventually brought the story modes, but like they had it ready in time for Evo. And that was the audience they were aiming for, and they had that accomplished.
Okay.
But it wasn't. It was speed over quality, I would admit.
So if Street Fighter can get away with that, why couldn't Mario Tennis get away with that on the Wii U? Because Mario Tennis Wii U did the same exact thing, but all of us dusted that game off.
Well, one, it's Nintendo. Two, it's Mario Tennis. Like, there's only so much variability you can add to a tennis game that you kind of need all the other modes to carry it.
What?
Street Fighter has...
Nani? Have you...
People wanted the ring mode, the RPG or story mode of that.
Dude, have you played any other Mario Tennis? Like, the Mario Tennises on the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance had a fantastic story mode, which is why they brought that back. The different modes, because Mario Power Tennis is probably arguably one of the best Mario Tennis games ever, and that had so many different modes. That had the stage tilting mode, which you can hit the little you had the item box you could do. They had the ring shot. They had all those cool little like Mario stage themed mini game modes that you had. There's a lot of stuff they could have did with that game besides just play tennis.
Yeah. I mean, like, was it Mario Tennis Aces did bring... I think Mario Tennis Aces was partially controversial only because there was, like... What's the best way to put it? Because they had a story mode, but the story mode didn't really feel needed, much less complete by the end of it.
I can give you that. I didn't even touch it. Now, the reason why is because I've watched through it, because I was like, okay, let me see what the story mode's about. And it's like... It wasn't as good as the Game Boy game story modes, basically. Yeah.
And it's like I think when it comes to like less competitive games, then of course that kind of content and quality is more important. But I think like by modern standards, competitive based games don't really need like that kind of story mode as much. And like how we talked about last week about World of Light, it was ambitious it's not terrible, but like when you finally beat it, it kind of feels like the end of Subspace Emissary in the same way of like, that was really cool. I don't really want to do it again. Like, I like the cutscenes, but I don't really want to do it again, if that makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I do feel like not everyone plays those games for the competitive aspect, though. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Because even with Street Fighter, there's people that play Street Fighter literally for the lore and the character interactions and the story mode. Like, from like before I started getting Street Fighter competitively, whenever I play games like Marvel vs. Capcom and those other games, I enjoyed doing the story modes, the side missions, and the arcade mode, because I knew if I got online I was gonna get my ass kicked, and that wasn't what I was looking for out the game. So I still feel like, even though it's a competitive game, I feel like them stripping that kind of thing out really hurt the casual audience, because that's what I think about why Smash Bros sells so well. Smash Bros sells well because they appeal to both a competitive environment and a casual environment. Even though Street Fighter is a competitive game, they were able to appeal to both demographics by being able to appeal to the casual market with their single player / multiplayer game, modes that they had offline, as well as you being able to fight your friends. So I feel like they kind of missed out a lot on sales at the beginning with that. But like you said, they made up for it later. They added all that stuff anyway, so the game's like super polished now. But yeah.
And like one thing I also wonder too is like, sometimes when it comes to some of the quote unquote single player content, sometimes I wonder if it might just be better off being like an animated TV series or TV movies or something like that. Like, I don't want to deny people of the interactive parts of single player modes, but if like the most important thing is the general interactions, like sometimes I'm not saying it has to be one way or the other, but sometimes I do wonder if like, why not just pack it with some cool animated shorts that give you the story so that you don't really have to earn it. But
now that's arguable, but I definitely agree with you. Like how all of us is basically, I was satisfied with Smash 4 with the fact that we just got all those cool trailers with everybody. I was cool with that. I didn't need a whole entire Subspace Emissary in Smash 4 because I got what I wanted from those trailers. I got to see Mega Man fight against like the original 64 cast, you know what I'm saying? That shit was dope. And I got to see like I got to see Pit and Lincoln, and I got to see Lincoln anime form, dude. Like, what? Fighting Pit in them. That shit was badass. Like, there was just so many different things with those animated cutscenes that was like really cool. And I agree with you. That's why I think it's kind of half and half. I think some people like actually interacting with the story and playing, or there's people like me and you, because I'm assuming you're taking that viewpoint since you spoke about it as well. I would much rather just go ahead and just look at some, like you said, some clips, and I'll be good to go.
Yeah, because like one more thing to support it too is that there's only so many stories you can do where people or characters from so many different worlds all somehow show up at the same place to take on this one general entity that's bad enough yet distinct from every other world. Because like, what is it? I'm thinking like, of course, Subspace Emissary, and then Project Cross Zone, if you remember those games.
Yeah, I remember those.
Like so many of the crossover type things is always like, oh man, it's more or less an isekai to like a neutral location to fight this big bad that's unique to the isekai world. Sometimes you'll have like the general bad guys and bosses from the unique worlds, but at the end of the day, they're usually not the final big bads.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like, especially, I feel like we should have more crossover games, and with these crossover games, I feel like we should have more opportunities to have like our own character that we can use in those situations too, because I think that's pretty cool. Good example, like I was saying, Mario Tennis isn't necessarily a crossover game. It kind of is in its own Nintendo universe, but I like how you can use your own character on there. But I'm not gonna set this topic too long, because we got like a lot to talk about. So you can continue on what you've been up to as well.
Oh no. I think the connection's messing up again. LoXus, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, there was something going on. All right, so the last thing, fight stick shenanigans. GameStop was goddamn telling me that the fight stick was going to be available for purchase April 23rd. That was, according to my calendar, freaking a week ago from now. But oh no, it turns out that the fight stick was actually going to release on the 29th of April. So then I was looking online yesterday, seeing like, all right, is the thing gonna be in the GameStop store so I don't have to order online? And while I was waiting for it to show up at the store, it wound up being sold out on Amazon.com. So I listed on the Amazon Prime 2-day shipping. And then like on the GameStop site, it's been like coming in and out of availability. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna buy it. I'm gonna pay GameStop's goddamn $10 shipping fee, which is highway robbery. And then I got the message that it's on the way today, that it's gonna arrive at my door today. Out of nowhere, 2 hours ago, I got a phone call from my local GameStop finally telling me, hey, your fight stick is in. But it's not the fight stick I ordered from their website, because previously preceding that, I requested the fight stick to show up at their store. So now there's 2 fight sticks here in this general vicinity, and I had no plans to have 2. So now I have to find a way to get rid of the other one, which I think they're going to take off my hands for no charge and no penalty. But
what's the fight stick you currently have? Like, what's it called?
The one that I'm gonna get is the Hori mini fight stick for Nintendo Switch. It's very basic. It's arguably and possibly low quality, but like it's a good entry point for someone who may not even use it that much, to be honest.
Oh, that's not too bad. This isn't bad. It's a little starter.
Oh, you already got it loaded?
Yeah, when I typed it on Google, I mean, as you were saying it. Yeah, this isn't.
That was fair.
I work in computers. I have to do this all the time. But yeah, this is not bad though, dude. I like this. It's a nice little and it's like it's made specifically for Switch too. That's actually not bad. You got the X and the L and the R. Like, what would you be playing on this?
Not obviously. Definitely not obviously. Fighter Z.
I mean, that is obvious. It's still obvious. That's a fighting game.
Yeah. Well, I just felt like saying obvious would be rude. I also have Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, and that would give me an excuse to load it back up. What other fighting games do I have?
So what made you decide to actually get a fight stick?
I kind of always wanted one, but like this seemed like, hey, cool, $50. Not too big of an asking price to try something that I may not stick with. But I figured.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, I know. Like I said, we talked about this in the previous podcast too. But yeah, I remember when I converted over to fight stick because I played many fighting games and my hands hurt. Like I got long piano fingers, and I feel like I get arthritis whenever I'm like playing these games, you know, these fighting games that require like good execution. That junk hurts my thumbs really bad, and they get really sore easily, and I can't play long. I don't know if you remember. I used to like bitch about it all the time. We used to play Tatsunoko versus Capcom when we play, and I'd be having to stop after like 10 to 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, my hands hurt. Yeah, but now that I have a fight stick, it's so much better. I have a Hori stick too, but mine is a lot more try hard, I guess you could say. I got the wrap. It's like this humongous. It's pretty big. It's like a pretty big fight stick, but it's very comfortable. You know, when you sit on your lap and stuff like that. But yeah, I think fight sticks is a good way to go. I just don't want people to get the misdirection that I know I'm not talking about you specifically, but other people think that getting a fight stick will automatically level you up and make you just better than you were before. Because if anything, it's actually going to make you worse at first because you got to relearn you had to get your motor skills back for fighting games. When you switch to a fight stick, and then after that, it could improve your execution and make you more comfortable, but it's not going to fix the issues that you have with fighting games necessarily. So that's just something I want to chime into with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. There's 2 fronts to that. Is that like I think I remember telling you the story, but I don't think I ever did it on stream or on this podcast. Was that back when I went to E3, I think 2 years ago. So it must have been 2016, 2017. Right. That I joined the Street Fighter tournament, and like it was just a random casual kind of tournament where like people at E3 could take part on Capcom's booth to play against each other in Street Fighter. And I know I wasn't that good at the game, but I knew the basic inputs to carry myself a little bit. And then when we got to like the platform, it was like, oh yeah, you're using sticks, you're not using the PlayStation 4 controller. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, good luck.
So the funniest thing was trying to survive not knowing how to put in the proper inputs on a fight stick. So like, you know how commentators, they don't commentate thinking that you're bad at the game. They commentate thinking you're good at the game. So every time the guy would go like, all right, it looks like he's getting ready for, all right, he's about to, all right, he's in that corner. But so it's like, I felt like I kept letting him down because I couldn't do the exact thing he was trying to predict me about to do. like a good player would do.
Oh, that happens to me in SpiderMaster whenever I'm using characters on Smash I don't know how to use, because for some reason he knows what every character does at a high level, and I could be like Falco. He'd be like, oh shit, you about to oh snap, oh I was just thinking it. Oh wait, never mind. But there's sometimes where I'll do the thing, but that's just funny. You just reminded me of that or whatever when that happens. Shout out to SpiderMaster in the chat, and Panthers in here too. Welcome guys, by the way. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's like funny to like it works almost in a strategic way, but you still have to be able to carry yourself to the extent where you're not going to get bodied. Thankfully, in Smash Brothers, it's a little bit easier compared to traditional fighting games because you have to know, you have to know how like hurt boxes, how long things stay out, cooldowns, startups, so on and so forth. But you don't have to worry about what a quarter circle turn or full circle rotation, or if having to do 3 rotations and execute it properly in order to do the move. It's just forward tilt, back tilt, up tilt, down tilt, up air, back air, smash.
You know, and that brings me to a pretty good point here. I'm not gonna stay on that too long either, but something I wanna that I think is pretty cool is like the mix between the two, because funny enough, people from the actual FGC, the fighting game community, actually think Smash is pretty tough to get into. Actually, like for example, I don't know if Leo's in the chat, but Leo, for instance, he's been trying to learn Smash. He's been having he's getting used to it, but it's not like Leo's the kind of dude who can jump from one fighting game to another like it's nothing. Like he's good at he's pretty good at Street Fighter. He's good at Tekken. He's good at all these anime fighters. He gets on Smash and it's just like a whole nother world. The same rules apply, like you said, but it's easier inputs. But it's hard in the sense that in those fighting games, it's just literally you on one screen, your opponent on the other screen, you dash at each other and you press, I'm not saying you press buttons, but you know what I mean. That's when frames and all that stuff comes in. Smash is that, except you're not only playing against the opponent, but you're playing against the stage. And not only that, but it's not just about knocking down hit points, it's about surviving. Like I was trying to explain to Nerdini, I'll keep this short too, when I was training him before, Smash is like really dynamic and it's scary for people getting into it because there's so much you have to know. You have to know that off stage is an entire game in itself. That's an entire neutral in itself. On stage is an entire neutral. When you're on the ledge, that's an entire neutral because it's rock, paper, scissors. Then there's aerial battles because you can fight in the air. There's just so many different things that you have to know in Smash Brothers as opposed to like a regular fighting game. Not in the sense that I'm going to say that, in your example that you were making, fighting games are a lot more complicated. That's just something I want to bring up for the people that's watching who may feel like, vice versa is easier or harder. But Smash actually is pretty like dynamic. And this is just Ultimate, where they've done the game down. Imagine Melee, where you have all of this with wave dashing. So it's like it's a lot, dude. It's a lot in these games.
Definitely crazy.
Yeah.
But I think we can move on to, assuming, because I'm done with my dumb stuff that I've been talking about. So I guess we can move on to general news.
Okay.
Which I'll just lead off since you have more news stuff. Is that the very first bit of news? I think it's been announced weeks ago, but Super Mario Maker 2 coming out June 28th for Nintendo Switch. I can't wait.
I was so sad. I thought it was coming out this month. Not this month, but next month.
But like thankfully June's only 2 months away, but my biggest gripe is that anytime anything I'm looking for releases at the end of the month, it might as well be the beginning of next month. Like June 28th might as well be July 1st, in my opinion. Like, I'm gonna survive. It's a first world problem to be sure, unless I die before that, then it's like the final world problem. But it's just a personal pet peeve of mine when it comes to release dates. I understand why they do it. I understand sometimes their hands are tied, but it just always sucks. Like, get ready for a June release date, and then it turns out to be June 31st, June 30th. I mean, and that's just kind of it.
They could have just made it. They could have just made it on June the 1st, on my birthday. No, I'm also really hyped for Mario Maker. That's gonna be a really good stream game. I played the actual hell out of that game like crazy when it came out. I played that game so much, and it was so much fun. I'm kind of a masochist when it comes to hard video games. So it was like, even though a lot of those stages were bullshit, I still had a lot of fun playing them. And I hadn't played a classic Mario game in a long time, so I really had to relearn a lot of things. I remember calling you and that, like, dude, I haven't played an old Mario game in forever. This jump feels like stupid weird, and I got to get used to 3 different styles of this, But let me see. As far as news goes, so basically Steam just launched, Steam launched a Golden Week sale on a lot of video games that were that's both PC exclusive and also PlayStation 4 exclusive. A lot of games are on sale right now. So this is the time if you want to get, if there's any type of game that you ever wanted to get, but it costs too much, this is the time to get it. Like, shit is mad cheap. Like, Resident Evil 2 right now is like $40. Nier Automata is like $25, and that's for the Neo. I mean, it's $30. Neo's $25. Dark Souls 3 is $21. Dragon Ball FighterZ is $15. I'm about to go in and buy that shit. Like, holy crap! It's only Street Fighter 5 is $8. Yeah, this is like it's $8. Yeah, Monster Hunter, of course, that's not gonna go out too much. It's like $40. But yeah, basically those are just some examples. There's a big list here. Sonic Adventure 2 is $2.
Metal Gear Solid 5 is $8, which it used to be a $60 game. Now it's $10 outside of sales. Really?
Holy crap! Look at these sales. These sales are ridiculous. Oh, God Eater's like $12. Like, what the heck? Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is $18. I might buy that. Nobody plays that game, but I'm gonna buy that.
DJ, no.
It's $18. It's $18, bruh. We live in a world where Okami HD is almost the same price as Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Wow. Meanwhile, Ikaruga still holds some level of value, surprisingly, despite only being $5. This game came out on the GameCube.
Dang.
Wait, no, not even the GameCube, the Dreamcast.
Wait, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, $7. Huh.
That's a better bang for your buck.
Holy crap, dude. It actually is while you playing, but wow. Dragon Dog Dom that no, that's not the same thing. That's something else. That's Dong Paropa. It's like $8.
Yeah. Actually, It's a Danganronpa.
Oh yeah. My bad. I don't want people coming after me. No, you're good, because I'm sure somebody was about to correct me if they knew. Lost Planet's $3.
Dude, they got Go-Go Nippon. My first trip to Japan, bruh. Dude.
What? wait. Like, oh, okay.
It's one of those dating sims, more or less.
Ooh, and we got everyone's favorite game, DMC. You know how much we love that game. That's on sale for $7.
Are we talking about like the wait? Oh, well, no, you wouldn't say DMC unless you actually meant like that.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's that one. I'm thinking it is. It's DMC Devil May Cry. That's what it says.
Well, that one ain't pulling my devil trigger. I'm telling you what.
Bruh, they got some sales on here. Like, the highest price game on here is like, it's like $52, and that's for the deluxe edition of Resident Evil 2, which like just came out. That's like the highest price thing up here. Everything is like 30 something to $40 at best. But most of these games are like $15. This is insane. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought I saw Marvel vs. Capcom 2 up here. I'm like, they got it on Steam. I almost swallowed my tongue, dude. All right.
But where's Call of Duty? And where's Battlefield?
Are those games on Steam?
I mean, they are on Steam, but they're not like obviously in the most kindest way possible, Japanese anime games.
Of course. Oh, they got Tales of. They got Tales of Symphonia for $5. I might buy that.
Yeah.
I've never played a Tales of game. I might buy Tales of Symphonia.
It's one of the best Tales of games you could probably get, but I forget whether or not that remake or re-release actually panned over well.
Oh, I did hear a lot of like bad stuff about that. I heard a lot of stuff about that.
I forget if that includes PC version or if it was just console version. But I think you'd still be better off than trying to hunt down a GameCube version, because for one, it's not in HD without, jerry rigging your GameCube for that. Or you could download. Well, no, we're not going there.
All right, we're gonna stop there. On to the other news.
Yeah, continue, please.
All right. So apparently, there's some kind of games with gold May 2019 where there's like a new free Xbox One. And there's gonna be more Xbox 360 games announced apparently as well. For that, you know how there's supposed to be this new Xbox thing they're doing.
Sad.
Yeah.
Xbox One sad.
They got apparently 360 games are supposed to be coming. On Xbox Live along with their gold memberships or whatever. So that's pretty cool that they're doing that. They're trying to get their ship going, so that's cool. Other than that, there's not too many news. It's Fortnite skins. They got Giratina. I didn't know Giratina was available on Pokemon Go. What the heck?
Yeah, that's been kind of a while, but like it takes work to get it. Like, you know about the gym raids, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine that, except you need like up to 5 to maybe 10 people to catch that Pokemon. No, for the chance to catch that Pokemon.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're not going to be doing that on your own, no matter how powerful you get. Dude, they got HalfMinute Hero on the freaking Golden Week sale.
You're still looking at the list.
All right, real quick, real honest quickness. HalfMinute Hero is a legitimate game I played on PSP. It's kind of like a parody take on RPGs, but you only have 30 seconds to beat the game. But of course, you can re-extend your time when you get to like check marks and save points and stuff. But for only $3, this is definitely a game worth, not even $3, $2.50. A game worth getting. I won't steer you that wrong. If you like RPGs, JRPGs, action RPGs, and you like humorous takes on them, get HalfMinute Hero. That's all I got to say about that. Now,
How did you I didn't see that on the list I was looking at. You have to have a more up to date list, I guess.
You went deep. You went deep, dog.
Deep in it. Deep in it. All right, but at any rate, basically, he said, the Sonic Master said that Skullgirls is also cheap, so I might go get that too.
I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, don't trigger the masses once again. No, you're just trying to just get stuff stirred up here. I see.
I'd rather get Skullgirls on mobile.
It's
Clearly the most
$3.
definitive- Mobile is clearly the most definitive.
It's $3. You can't beat that. I'm broke and I have I have enough to get that. Like, I have $3. Like, that's nothing. That's disgusting. Yeah. Will those games be on 3? I'm not sure if those games would be on the Xbox Game Pass Panther. Just as a quick thing, to answer that question. But those are basically the news that I have so far.
All right, so we can get to the biggest hedgehog shape elephant in the room now, which is that, surprisingly, today, a new trailer for the Sonic movie dropped. And it is possibly better or worse than you could have ever imagined.
First off, have any of you guys in the chat? Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say you could talk about how you feel about it first.
Okay, have any of you guys in the chat seen the trailer yet? First, we said, well, this is where I leave the chat. Sonic Master, listen, okay, we're gonna talk about the trailer. We were gonna actually get you in this call, but we were trying to figure out how to do it. So I'm not sure if any of you guys actually saw the trailer or not. To me, all right, I'm gonna go from start to finish. Okay, it starts up and you see Sonic running, and to be perfectly honest, aside from his mouth, I actually like it, dude. That shit's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. I was surprised and delighted at how good it is. Like, if you... Wow.
My phone was ringing. How unprofessional of me. Like, OMG. Like, God.
Yeah, super unprofessional.
Like grab me with a spoon. Like, geez,
that was Sonic calling you. Like, that was Sonic himself calling you. Like, yo, quit talking about my trailer, son.
Hey, DT-Faux. Quit talking smack about my movie. I'll come get you. Got so fast.
Yeah. But, and he just snaps his finger. You just hear a click, and then just he just drops whatever phone he was using. All right, but anyways.
I don't feel so good.
Anyways, I do like how the trailer starts out, and you see Sonic running at full speed, and then he runs even faster. I think he does his boost thing that he usually does. Like when he runs, and then and then he makes the big thing. He ran. All right, something I gotta say about this trailer. This trailer did a good job showing just how OP Sonic is, dude. Sonic is broken in this movie. This man ran so fast that he caused a power outage in an entire city. He ran, and he probably wasn't even trying. At the end of the trailer, Sonic was running. Sonic is so fast, he stopped time. I've never seen we got to see that shit in Sonic's perspective. This man, Eggman, shot a million missiles, had a fucking army of robots, and this man Sonic was I took 9,000 steps today, and he's just moving as if he just stopped time, and he's just hitting these missiles. Sonic doesn't even move that fast in the games, in the openings. They made Sonic look so freaking busted in that trailer. I can only imagine what he's going to do in this movie. Jim Carrey as Eggman, I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love Jim Carrey. I haven't seen nothing from Jim Carrey in so long. I absolutely love it. That trailer had me weak when he was talking to that army dude, that soldier, that sergeant or whatever. That joke was funny. At first, everybody was tripping out because I was watching reaction videos. Everybody tripping out because, oh man, he doesn't look like Eggman. I'm like, give it some time, guys. It's obviously like an origin type of thing, maybe. Let's see what actually happens. Shout out to the truck. I think that truck may have been a reference to guns because it is a military force. They may be referencing guns in this movie. And by, if you guys have played any Sonic game in the modern era, you know what guns is. It's that military group that they deal with. Shout out to Shadow. Shout out to Maria.
Heroes, right?
Maria.
Everything that's not his friend.
Yeah, exactly. That song was playing in my head. My bad. I was just like, oh, that song's so good. But yeah, that was dope. I also like how at the end of the trailer we actually get to see Eggman as Eggman with the bald head and the weird mustache. I'm thinking something may have happened at the end. Sonic may have done something because it looks like Sonic has this weird electric property to him, which is kind of weird, as you can see from his fur. And I'm thinking something may have happened to cause Eggman to have that look, like maybe all his hair like burnt off and his mustache like got all electrified and shit. So yeah, I really like that. Oh, you said that's Jim Carrey's real mustache? Well, I didn't know that. That's dope, Q. But yeah, that's really dope. And yeah, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with that movie. Like, the only thing that I don't like is Sonic's mouth. It looks like, you know how people get those photoshopped like things and they get like a real life mouth and they like put it on this cartoon. That's what it looks like they did with Sonic's mouth. I don't like his mouth. His mouth looks like shit, but everything else looks fantastic. I like it. But that's it for me.
All right, now that we got all the apologist fanboy talk out the way.
I am the good cop. I knew I was going to be. That's why I said I couldn't wait to do it. And I think you knew it too. And that's why you let me go first. I don't know how you knew. I think you knew I was going to be the good cop here. But go ahead.
No, I'm trying not to be that guy that go like, thanks, I hate it kind of thing. All right, so it looks like it's going to be competent. It looks like it's going to be fun. It looks like it'll be the kind of Hollywood movie that works well enough. It's going to get its money back one way or the other, whether from sincerity or cynicism or whatever, it's going to get its money back. This won't be the last Sonic movie we're ever going to see. So whether it does good or bad, there will be another Sonic movie. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe 5 years from now, who knows? It's not going to be the first one or the last one. I'm trying to figure like the best way I could. The rough part now is that it feels kind of standard Hollywood, which is like, I remember when my brother first texted me the trailer, and he said like, what is this? And like, after I saw the trailer, I responded saying it looks like it's going to be perfectly mediocre, which means that, again, it's not going to be terrible. And I'm trying not to be that guy that like automatically hates on things, but the only way I can really contrast it is like the same way other people have, which is like with Detective Pikachu, where I wasn't a fan of Detective Pikachu, but seeing the later trailers, Detective Pikachu won me over in both design, dialogue, like everything. Like, I can't wait till May 10th because Detective Pikachu comes out then. And even if it doesn't meet expectations, like, I already kind of know that I'm going to have a good time with that. With the Sonic movie, it's like, I'm kind of stuck in the mindset of like what they could have done. And I need to accept the fact that no matter what they could have done, that's just me leading myself to a certain level of disappointment. But at the same time, there's like all these master classes talking about how Sonic's Potbelly design and his Sonic Adventure design are like the most perfect designs ever, and so on and so forth. So this kind of winds up feeling like how the Smurf movies happened, or the Yogi Bear movie, or the Woody Woodpecker movie, or that kind of stuff where the change felt unnecessary. And like the setting and like, or I feel like honestly the lack of, kind of feels like a lack of a budget where they put more of the money towards the actors and the CGI as opposed to kind of other stuff. But I'm trying not to be too hard on it because it's not gonna be a terrible movie, and I can already tell that because the trailer makes it look fun. And like you already mentioned, Jim Carrey, he seems to be the guy that's carrying the movie so far. Like, if I had to be honest, he seems to be the guy carrying the movie.
I'm starting to notice that's a big. I didn't even cut you off. Seems like it's starting to be a big trend. Like, I'll just segue into this real quick just for a sec. Like the Captain Marvel movie. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Nick Fury, aka Samuel Jackson, carried the actual hell out of that movie. Like my dude had the backpack on, and everybody in the studio was like in his book bag when he was walking around. Like he carried the hell out of them. He carried them like there was like a case of like a freaking basket of laundry clothes or something. But yeah, Jim Carrey looks like the biggest. I think he is gonna carry this movie. Him as Eggman, I think is gonna be the thing. We're gonna love Eggman in this movie. I think Jim Carrey may end up doing such a good job with this movie and this role. We might end up getting like an Eggman spinoff movie or something, like with just Eggman and his antics or something with his people or something.
And honestly, if they went down that route where it was a little bit more, I guess, personal shenanigans rather than like, once again, an isekai movie, it kind of seems like, because it's I think my biggest problem again is that like it feels like other CGI hybrid Hollywood movies that we've seen before, where, because the thing is that we don't know where Sonic came from. We don't know if he's part of the real world, if he's an alien from another world, because he says, I gotta save your world. And I'm wondering, so what's the deal with this airline food, and what's the deal with Sonic?
Oh no. I hope this isn't one of those things where, no, you go ahead. I think we're about to say
is it gonna be Sonic X, where they straight up where he comes from another world? But then the other question too is like, if this is successful enough, or if Sega or Paramount thinks, hey, this is actually working out pretty well, let's keep it going. You know what's going to happen next?
What? I didn't know.
Knuckles. Maybe Amy.
They might be in
Shadow.
the movie. They might already be in the movie. You never know. It's only the first trailer. They may get a cameo or something.
Maybe a cameo at best, but knowing how Hollywood can be and how long they took to release the trailer and how much backlash this has been getting, they would have let us know, and how much they've kind of actually spoiled of the movie itself from this trailer. I think they would have let us know that, hey, these other guys are in it too. Unless it's like so atrocious that they're just trying to like hide it, like, hey, we also got, no, put them away. Nobody, just Sonic here. Nobody,
I don't know.
Chickens and Sonic.
I don't think they'll be too afraid to do that. I mean, the Hollywood's been very what's the word for it? Very aggressive with their style of choice of this movie, and really they seem like they don't really give a damn about what we think, honestly. Like Sega themselves was like, we don't like the eyes. They was like, I don't care. We're doing it anyway. Basically, it's like I don't think Hollywood cares at this, like whoever's doing this doesn't care about that retrospective thing. Like, oh, we don't want to throw this out because people will get mad at us. They don't care.
And it depends on the situation, because sometimes it really does work out, sometimes it doesn't. The time it definitely didn't work out was Dragon Ball Evolution, if you remember that movie. Another time was
Next topic.
Avatar.
Next topic. I'm getting PTSD, bro. I'm getting PTSD, bro. I'm sweating and everything.
All right, so I'll give something that's less PTSD inducing, which is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, that's even worse. Oh, the Fire Nation. Oh, the Earth, bruh. That Earthbender was so ugly in that movie, bruh. They fucking hit that boulder, and that fucking boulder looked like it had strings on it, and it was just floating, bruh. Hell no, Ong, my dude. Like, nah, bruh. Oh my god, that's even worse. Oh my goodness, bruh.
All right, so you got those ends of the spectrum. On the other end of the spectrum, despite not being animated, you got Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which, if you remember, like my brother and I went to see that twice, and the second time my brother and I saw it, we dragged you along when we came back to visit at the time.
Oh, thank you so much for that too, man. That was the best experience I've had in a while.
And like, so that was a live action take of a comic book, which had such a stylized style, but they found the right actors. They kept a lot of the same tone. They changed the story just a little bit, only to keep within like the 1.5 hour time segment. But you can say that Scott Pilgrim versus the World kind of stayed faithful to its source material to enough of an extent where it felt like a fun ride, and that you wouldn't have had to read the comic, or you wouldn't even be that upset if you were a fan of the comic. And now, once again, bringing up the current standard being set is Detective Pikachu, where it was a hard sell to begin with because live action animated hybrid, but like from hearing all the critics and seeing all the trailers and stuff, it seems like it's gonna be that definitive video game movie that's gonna set the standard so high. Everyone else,
it bought me on the first trailer, dude. The moment I saw Pikachu, I was good. I was Gucci, dude. I was sold the first trailer, dude. I was like, this junk looks clean. And that's why I was like, okay, if they made this movie look like this, the Sonic movie can't look that bad. And honestly, I mean, like, aside from Sonic's design, it really doesn't look that bad. Like, I was afraid that the motions and the animations and all that other crap, special effects, was gonna be really cheaply made. But seeing that the movie is made by the same people who made Fast and Furious makes me feel a lot better, because that's just perfect that they had those people do that, because they make high speed chase movies, you know what I'm saying? So they should be really good at making these light up special effects while Sonic's like blazing through, you know what I'm saying? Blast through with Sonic speed. But
420 blaze it. Okay, all right. But let me spoil a little Hollywood magic for you real quick. When it's saying from the writers of, from the makers of, from the producers of, that's usually specific. That's kind of like different sets of teams, unfortunately. Like, the producer tends to be the person that gathers the talent and people together and balances the budget to make the thing happen. The writers is obviously the people who write the stories, the lore of the world, and the creators are sometimes just the people who created the concept or the idea of something. So, like, say for example, well, I'm not famous enough to actually do it, but I'm gonna say, like, say for example, one of my projects worked out really well. Like, I don't know if you remember the dumb comic fantasy race. You remember that, LoXus?
oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So fantasy race, and then like I wind up, I don't know, getting the rights to Bubsies to make a Bubsy cartoon. So I could say from the creator of fantasy race, and that could mean anything from me being the creator of the concept all the way to being the artist, the writer, like, but then I would say from the makers of. So when they say from the producers of Fast and the Furious, it could be like the people who, it's kind of a way to pull you in with the name, but who knows how much they actually contributed to the full thing.
I think that's kind of, in your words, obvious, I guess. Because I mean, like, we knew that, like, with Mega Man, for instance, like with My Number 9. All right, they was like, oh well, we have the same producers from the Mega Man game doing this. We have Ifune, so clearly this should be good. But what most people don't know is that Ifune, from the beginning, never really, he didn't do the Mega Man games himself. He just designed them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, as far as producing the game goes, that's like a whole nother separate team, you know, that does that. But like I said, I kind of had that in mind, but I could just tell by the way the movie looks, or the point I was trying to get at was that I could tell by the way the movie looks that the special effects are going to be on point. 'Cause that's what I was worried about. I just didn't want that shit to look cheap as hell like Dragon Ball Evolution and Avatar did. God damn that movie.
All right.
But
so, I don't think we have much else to say about the movie until we get either more trailers of the movie itself, which is 6 months away.
Last thing. If this movie is a success, I could see them. If not this movie, but movie 2 or 3, my bad, not this movie, the movie 3, I bet they're gonna bring Shadow in. Is it gonna be Shadow or Knuckles? They're gonna bring that, because every movie there's always like some Shadow version of the character that they have to bring in a lot of these movies. And I know, speaking of Shadow, they might bring Shadow in. They already got guns, sort of. So it's like I could see them possibly bring a Shadow in, which would be, I'm curious as to how Shadow would look. But yeah, that'd be interesting if this movie is a success. But I think it's gonna get shot on like crazy, unless somehow we watch it and it's better than we think. Because I'm trying to think of an example of a movie that we all thought was gonna be really bad, and we watched it and it was like, wow, this actually isn't. It's actually pretty dope. I can't remember any time when that happened, but I could have sworn that's happened recently. But yeah, that's all I have left for it.
Yeah. The last two things I would say, because I could go on and on about the tropes and stuff, like, oh, the military group is once again taking part, but oh, the military is not strong enough, so they got to get someone that's better than the military to handle the situation. Like, I'm getting over that trope. But the actual real thing, the last thing, what's your opinion on them using Gangster's Paradise as like the, I don't know, the leitmotif or whatever of this, knowing that Sonic is all about the bing 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 ding 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 ding, or the guitar butt rock? How do you feel about them trying to use an R&B/rap song to sell their movie?
I don't know. I feel like it fits for some reason. Reason being is two things. One, harkens back to that Fast and Furious thing. This felt like a Fast and Furious trailer. Like, honestly. And that would be the type of song they'd have in a Fast and Furious trailer. Two, Sonic is a character that embodies the era that he's presented in. And granted, Gangsta Paradise is not in this era at all. For some reason it fit because it's like this is a new age Sonic. You know, I'm sure they play some Jaden Smith or something. It may fit more. Maybe they play I'm an Icon Living or something, or maybe it'll fit. I don't know, but definitely I feel like that song fit for some reason to me. I don't know. It made sense to me. It was weird, but
oh god, the Panthers already guessing the next Sonic movie. Sonic versus Shadow Battle for the Chaos Emerald Summer 2027.
Oh no. And then watch the Chaos Emeralds not actually be emeralds. They're like, oh wait, hold up. We did not talk about this in the trailer. We have to speak on this. This man Sonic threw a ring and it sent them through some portal. It was like a transporter or something. What the hell was they were gonna have? We didn't see that. It made the ring sound when he threw it. And the dude and the chick went through it and they appeared at their house or something. It was weird. It like teleported them or something. That shit.
Don't even get me started on that random chick that just showed up out of nowhere, who is clearly going to be the love interest, who's clearly going to fall in love with the main bumbling male protagonist by the end of the movie. Because goddamn movie tropes have to go through just like that.
Oh, the ring thing was a comic reference, Sonic Master. Okay. Thanks for the lore. But yeah, you knew they were gonna. Davey, you knew they were gonna do this. There's gonna be a chick in that Pokemon movie. I bet there's gonna be a chick in that movie. I bet money there's gonna be a chick in that movie. It's Hollywood, huh?
All right. Two things real quick. So one, I played the Detective Pikachu video game. So yes, there is a lady who might be potentially a love interest. The curious thing is gonna be how it will all go down. And I tend to be cynical of the ones of like the people who fall in love that kind of just feels unnatural. Like there's some of those movies out there where there was one movie that like the guy it was Bumblebee. Did you see that movie?
I didn't.
Okay. Do you mind if I spoil it for you? I don't think anyone else is going to care.
Go ahead. I don't care.
Okay. So throughout the movie, there was a guy and a girl, and like they were clearly the girl who's the main protagonist didn't really give the guy the time of day. They eventually got caught up in the adventure and shenanigans together. And like you could kind of see where they started to fall for each other. And then by the end of the movie, the thing that you would think would happen, which is that like they either kiss or hold hands or whatever. And like by the end of it, she's like saying, no, that's too soon. And they're like, yeah, sure. And that was just kind of it. Like they went down the trope to subvert it at the end because it's like the thing that everyone expects from, you know, the usual kind of standard Hollywood movie. So if they do something like that, it probably wouldn't mind as much. And like, understandably, you know, it's good to have diversity, have other characters, male, female, so on and so forth. But I'm just talking from the perspective of like being tired of certain tropes that do get overused. Because like Alvin and the Chipmunks, Yogi Bear, the Smurfs movie, characters just keep falling in love at the end of these movies.
It's a Disney thing. It's just like it's Hollywood. Disney does it. It's like it's gonna happen. It's like you gotta have the character art. Like the main character is either a bumbling idiot or he's a jerk, and then by the end of the movie he finds love and it fixes one or two of those things. And then Sonic is just that character like Pikachu that's just out of place, like a fish out of water, who's there just to kind of bring everything together. And he's the best friend character. It's gonna happen. You know, I actually wasn't expecting Sonic to have a human companion. Honestly, it slipped my mind. Also, before I forget, I am an idiot. There's warp rings in Sonic 1. What the hell was I thinking? Duh, CJ. But anyways, yeah. But yeah, I get what you're saying though. We're gonna get a lot of typical tropes in this movie. We just can't I'm not gonna make the same mistake I made when I went to go see Dragon Ball Evolution. We cannot go to this movie expecting this shit to be some blockbuster hit. We have to go to the movie expecting the worst. So that way, we'll feel better when we watch it. We're still gonna fucking destroy that movie inside and out. I already know it. But we have to go into that movie with low expectations. I'm gonna have to say, I'm going into this movie the same way I went to My Number 9. Like, zero expectations. I'm just gonna watch this shit and we're gonna have fun.
It just reminded me of like this one meme / GIF, whatever, from Malcolm in the Middle. Like the youngest child was saying, like, I wasn't expecting anything, and I was still disappointed. But
as long as they don't make a Mega Man movie, I'm Gucci. Just don't make a Mega Man movie. Don't make a Mega Man movie.
No, but they should though.
No, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't.
They should.
No, they shouldn't. Why? Why should they make a Mega Man movie?
Because anything is possible to be done right if it's done well enough.
No. Mega Man isn't.
Yeah.
Mega Man isn't. He's not popular enough to have a movie. Like, it's Sonic. Like, everyone knows Sonic, dude. Like, Sonic should have a movie. No.
Right.
No.
I gotta break some news to you.
No.
There's gonna be a Monster Hunter movie.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Monster Hunter is more popular than Mega Man. I'm from a Western.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Monster Hunter is way more popular than Mega Man.
In Japan, maybe.
Here too? What the hell? All right,
Really?
if you go to any random person and ask them and say Mega Man versus, like, if you go to like a gamer, right? There's no way you're gonna tell me Monster Hunter is more popular than Mega Man. And I'm a Mega Man fanboy. Dude, Monster Hunter is way more popular than Mega Man. I bet Monster Hunter sold more than Mega Man. I bet money on that, even in America. I bet so much money on that. I bet Monster Hunter sold way more than Mega Man 11.
All right. Are we talking about a single game?
Huh?
A single game or like the more or less?
Oh, you're talking about the entire franchise? Mega Man to me is a very niche franchise. Like, people know Mega Man, of course, especially if you're from the 80s and the 90s. We grew up with Mega Man, you know what I'm saying? But Monster Hunter encapsulates us from the old generation and people from the new generation. That's why they keep pumping out all these Monster Hunter games, and it took like my entire life to get another fucking Mega Man game, because Mega Man isn't gonna drag in the same audience that Monster Hunter is gonna drag in. That's an RPG. Monster Hunter is way more popular than Mega Man. In fact, if it wasn't for Street Fighter, I'm not gonna say Monster Hunter is more popular than Street Fighter. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm definitely gonna say that Monster Hunter is definitely like a flagship Capcom thing right now. Like, Capcom is like leaning the hell on Monster Hunter right now. Like, there's no way, dude. There's no way.
I'm so torn because, like, I'm not gonna deny the popularity that Monster Hunter's gotten now, but I'm also taking into the account how hard it was for people to get into the. How hard it was for.
No, I'm gonna say real quick. Panther said T.I. is in that Monster Hunter movie. I'm done. All right, but go ahead. Go ahead.
That what is it? That I can vouch for the struggle people had to get into Monster Hunter. That, like, people, it didn't start reaching its legs here in the West until Capcom started supporting it more. But that wasn't until like Monster Hunter 4. Like, around Monster Hunter 4, because like there was Monster Hunter for PSP, there was Monster Hunter 3. Monster Hunter 3 Generations, like, I struggled with it. Like, other people also admitted, like, oh man, it's just such a lofty thing to get into. Like, I think that if you were to ask any like the same people that Paramount's aiming for the Sonic movie, if you held up a picture or two names or titles or whatever of Monster Hunter versus Mega Man, I'm pretty sure people, even if they don't know which one is which, will be more familiar with the Mega Man thing than the Monster Hunter thing. But that doesn't mean
it's more popular. That just means that Mega Man's a more familiar face. But by popular, I'm thinking which one are people more attuned to. It's hard to explain, but I just have a feeling that if you go to the average gamer in this era right now, you go to the average gamer and ask them about Mega Man shit versus Monster Hunter shit, more people are going to spew out Monster Hunter stuff. Hell, in my stream, nobody hardly knows about Mega Man. I have like a viewer or two that knows about Mega Man like I do. Everyone else in my stream has probably never played a Mega Man game. And if they did play a Mega Man game, they've only played X or they've only played Mega Man Zero. Like, none of them ever played the classic series or Battle Network or Legends and all that shit. Don't even get me started on how niche those series are. Like, half the people don't even know Mega Man Battle Network even exists, or they only play Battle Network. So it's like, huh?
I was gonna say, but LoXus, your crowd's the Fortnite crowd, as opposed to my stream.
Whoa, you're just really trying to. You really want us to hate you. I see this. All right, I see. I understand now. I understand what your mission is.
All right. Look, here's the thing. I'm an Incineroar main. It's my job to be the heel, and that is an absolute lie. I'm just being dumb.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. You are the heel for maining that damn character. You are the heel. Yes, you are. You are the bad guy. You are Jim Carrey right now.
Also, I'm the one carrying. Never mind. Anyway, I hear what you're saying, though. It'll be curious. I would love to see a Mega Man movie, but I would want to see it done right. I don't really... It can work live action CGI, but I don't know whether it should take itself seriously or if it should be kind of campy in old-fashioned Mega Man style. Like that one could go either way, and I think it's because Mega Man is in the right position where you can take it any direction you want. Unlike Sonic, which kind of has an identity, but at the same time doesn't, because Sega's so busy trying to jump around from one idea to another.
Oh man,
I'm upset now. I made myself upset.
Yeah, we actually went into a tangent. That's good. This is what we should do. I'm glad we went into a tangent. We don't do this kind of stuff on our podcast. This is stuff we actually do when we talk. So I'm glad that we did that. That's how I can tell we're getting comfortable with this. We actually went out on a tangent. I'm sweating. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a very good topic. Like, I like that. But getting into the last part of our podcast, the last section, which I'm glad we say to the end. But disclaimer, we are getting ready to talk about the Avengers Endgame. If you have not watched that movie, click off the stream now. If you're watching
yeah, you say it, or pause the recording, either way.
Yeah, pause the recording, do what you need to do, because we're going to talk about what happened in Endgame. If you don't care, you're more than welcome to stick around. If you saw it, you're more than welcome to stick around as well. But we are about to, we're getting ready to do this. All right, so since I went first with Sonic, you can go first with Endgame.
All right, so I'm not even gonna start out with some kind of dumb joke. It was definitely worth the wait. All right, so I remember the night after seeing the movie, the first thing I said on Twitter was it was worth the 10-year wait, and that was all I was gonna say until after the opening weekend, because that's the most fair thing to do. Is don't spoil a movie just because you saw it first on a Thursday. Wait until everyone else has seen it, and then say whatever the crap you want.
And then spoil the hell out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, at least give the weekend. It would be better if you waited a little longer, but the weekend's fine enough. Now, I was surprised. I will say I was surprised how well they kept so much under wraps in a generation and age where things get leaked and spoiled so easily. For a movie that's recorded all over the world, the West Coast, the East Coast, Europe, I think parts of Asia, it's passing so many hands, so many eyes, so many ears, how easy it is to hack into technology, how they managed to release this movie, how to keep everyone from saying anything with NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, and somehow leave it so that people can still be surprised when they see it in theaters. That's the most impressive thing to me about that. Kind of the same way with Smash Brothers, how I don't know how Nintendo and Sakurai does it. But
actually, there was one slip up. Tom Holland. Oh gosh, Tom Holland. He spoiled so much. He spoiled so much stuff about a lot of different movies that they started having that. They stopped giving him the scripts, and they had to just give him his lines. Yeah, that's how bad he would spoil stuff on accident, I guess. There's actually a clip of him reading a freaking piece of paper from Marvel Studios that says this is confidential, and he didn't read the back of it. He's reading it out on his Instagram. He's reading the thing out, and he looks on the back. He's like, "Oh shoot!" Yeah.
See, this is why you don't hire kids to do high-profile movies.
He's 20-something though.
By our standards, that's more or less still kind of technically a kid, just a young adult.
Yeah.
We're also young adults, but by late 20-something-year-old standards, young 20-year-old something standards is technically a kid by this standard, and it's all very dumb and relative anyway.
All right, but back to what you were saying about Sakurai and them being able to keep all the Smash spoilers under wraps.
That's just the thing I'm just always most impressed with, is that in an age and generation where people can just go run around trying to get that 15 minutes of fame, spreading rumors, saying about all this stuff, it always surprises me and it always amazes me, and it restores a little faith in humanity that people actually care not to be that selfish, whether to troll people and saying haha, Dumbledore dies, or that or that you can only experience something once, and if you're spoiled on it, or if you've already seen it, you can't get that raw experience ever again. And that's something that's very valuable, despite us consuming so much crazy stuff at such a crazy pace. You'll never be able to replay Breath of the Wild for the first time ever again. You'll never be able to replay Mario Odyssey and do Jump Up Superstar for the first time ever again. So that first time is the most precious, important time when consuming any kind of media. What else? You give some of your opinions and then I'll jump back in.
All right. So we're just talking about the initial phases of the hype for it, or I can just go in straight into the movie?
Whichever one. I'll just jump in if I feel like I need to interject.
Whew, boy. The hype been built up for... Overruled. Take that. Hold it. I just had the fucking Phoenix Wright music playing in my head. But yeah, I definitely... The build up for this movie, man. All I gotta say is I left the movie theater feeling like I lost somebody in real life. Like, I'm serious. Like, you can ask Panther and them. Like, I went home and I streamed and I was just so depressed. Like, I felt like somebody in my family died, dude. That's how I felt when I got home. Cause, all right, boy, that was
I'm only laughing because I felt that too.
Yeah, that was a long movie. But boy, was it worth it. And they fit so much stuff in because they could have rushed it and made that movie so bad. Because like they had 3 different phases or several different phases of that movie. It was the aftermath of what happened in Infinity War. It was the post-apocalyptic. You know what I mean? After shit, yeah, after shit went bad time. The redemption when everybody tries to go, to pick up the stones, and then the final act where they fight and Thanos and stuff like that from another time. There was just so much. There's time warping, sadness, people being friends again, so much death. It was just so much stuff. And like the biggest surprise and the biggest pain that hurt for me was definitely Iron Man dying. That hurt, dude. Like, I knew somebody was going to die. We all knew. There was so much speculation that either him or Captain America was going to die. Captain America didn't die, but he's definitely out of commission.
He might as well be dead.
He might as well be dead. Like, he's not fighting anymore. Captain America's done. He's done. I definitely... But, I'm happy that he got his resolution. You know what I'm saying? He got his closure. We got the closure with him. He got to be with Peggy. I'm so happy about that. That's definitely a plot hole though, because they definitely explained, well, it's not really a plot. I don't know. It's weird because they explained that whatever you change in the past won't affect the time of now. It's like Dragon Ball, like how Trunks is literally like Dragon Ball, where like with Trunks, like if I go back in time right now and I change something, right? Like I make it to where I don't trip over that rock in ROTC and bust my mouth open like I did. That's just going to create a new timeline. That's not going to make it to where now I'm not going to have a scar on my face or something. You know what I'm saying? The scar's still going to be there. It's just going to be me in another timeline that doesn't have that scar on his face. But yet, Captain America was able to go back in time, be with Peggy, get married, and then now he's in the future living and he's old. That doesn't make any sense. He should be old in that separate timeline. And then that brings up the question of where is the other Captain America? Where's the other Chris Evans? No, wait, my bad. Chris Evans is the guy who is the actor. Whoops. Steve Rogers. Yeah, where's the other Steve? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is he? Because he was there. I know he was there because he went back in time. There should have been 2 of them. There's like a lot of shit that don't make any fucking sense at all.
So I think that, and this is where it gets a little bit complicated, and I think they even admitted that much, which they somehow tried to dumb it down and it still didn't make sense. But it's like Inception. You're going to have to watch it again for it to make more sense. But what I imagine is that Steve Rogers, who was in the modern day, went back in time, but there wasn't another Steve Rogers back then because the Steve Rogers back then was frozen in time. Not frozen in time, but like he was frozen and then was thawed out to the modern day. So like the one that would have been back there is the one that's in modern day. So he was able to go back and replace himself anyway because himself wasn't there at that time.
But where's the Steve Rogers now then? He did the... Wait a minute. Hold on. I think I know what happened. I got a headache. I know what happened. It's a loop. It's a loop because it's a Zamasu thing. Literally. Like, it's a loop because he basically can't... It's that... The modern one that I'm thinking of went back in time to do what this Steve Rogers did. So it was like an infinite loop of
That's
Steve
one way to
Rogers
look at
getting
it.
old.
Like the way I saw it was just a linear path where like the me that was in the past is now in the present. So there is no me in the past because I was waiting to be thought out in the present. So because I'm thought out in the present, I went to the past, and me that's in the past is now in the present, is now back in the past. So now I get to age gradually up to the present.
Yeah, that's time travel sucks. Yeah, it's best not to overthink time travel. Just all we know is Steve Rogers is old and he's happy. It happened in the comics, so people can't get mad. That's literally what happened, and he gave his shield up. I'm just sad that we're not gonna get any more Tony Stark or Chris Evans moments. Like that's Chris Evans, Steve Rogers moments. It's like that's gonna really, really, really hurt. And Tony Stark's, man, I love his personality, dude, so much.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be really. And then like he's one of the most. He discovered time travel before he died. He literally discovered time travel. So it's like this, they're gonna need that brain. You know what I'm saying? At some point, I don't know, man. I'm sure they're gonna have cameo appearances where he'll probably be like some hologram that he thought up way ahead of time, and like, oh, I know you guys would have needed me here, so blah 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 blah. And by the way, don't have that long face. I'm sure he's gonna have his moments potentially, but I just wish he didn't die. But he did die. You know, there was a replacement Iron Man in the comics too. It's been 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually these guys are gonna go. They're gonna get old. You know, and they're gonna want to do other stuff. You know, but
the contracts are going to run out and they're going to get too expensive to keep paying, so they got to be written off.
Yeah, that's like, basically what happened, actually.
There's realistic and cynical reasons for it. And that was like pretty sad too. It's like, I understand it's a passing of the baton. It was going to hurt sooner or later, and better for it to happen now than later, where it's like, all right, I'm getting tired of Iron Man. There's clearly not going to be an Iron Man 4. Let's get on with it already. And the thing is that even if it sucks as a feeling, because it makes you feel that way, that means that the writers were successful in what they were trying to accomplish, which was that, yes, you are supposed to feel sad about this moment, as opposed to some movies where if a character gets written off or dies or whatever, and you don't feel anything, that's a failing on the writer's part. That means that they didn't do it right, or they did it wrong, or they didn't get you properly invested in the character. So
my freaking heart hurt. My heart hurt the moment I saw Doctor Strange and he put up that one. No. He was like, no. Not only that, no. Before that, because he was like, she's Tony like, so about that last 1 in a million thing or whatever. That's still gonna happen. Like, it is, but you're not gonna like it. You specifically are not gonna like it. I was like, oh no.
That would make sense.
Oh no. And then after that, then you know he looked over at her because everybody was getting screwed, and he looked over at Doctor Strange. He put up that one. And Tony was like, oh, freak, man, fine. And he ran over there, and yeah, that was ugly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because and that's one thing I do appreciate about like the philosophy of it, like because everyone would like at least 3 different characters. I think two. We're dealing with some level of loss and like had the opportunity to revisit people that have long since passed.
That was really cool.
Yeah, and like it's funny how Tony was the much more mature person handling re-meeting his father as opposed to Thor, who was like an emotional, like hilariously but unfortunately emotional mess.
Oh my goodness, Thor. Oh man, Thor was. A lot of people don't like what they did to Thor. I like it. He was funny. I don't like that he was fat great. Though. They could have did that without making him fat like that. But that shit was still hilarious. Oh my goodness, Thor was so funny in this movie, dude. Like he was so. I knew one of them was gonna be washed up. I wasn't sure who it was going to be. I knew one of them was going to be like fat and drunk or something because it's been too long. I thought it was going to be Captain America. I thought it was going to be Iron Man. So I knew somebody was going to be like not the same like that, you know. Yeah. And it was funny that it was Thor of all people, you know, the god, you know, like I am a god, you know. It's just so funny, you know, just seeing him like that. And he went back in time. Him and Rocket Raccoon moment were funny. So I'll be glad to see him in the new Guardian of the Galaxy. They have a new one, and him, you know.
Yeah, I think there is actually going to be another one on the way. But it makes sense that Thor would be the one that's a broken mess because Tony Stark, he's already been fighting his own demons. Like even since the first Avengers movie when he went into space and more or less saw the future, like he's been dealing with that demon for a while. He kind of fixed it in Iron Man 3, then he fell apart in Civil War, and then he tried to fix it in Infinity War, and then he finally did fix it to his demise, unfortunately, in Endgame. So that was his entire Tony arc, if you will.
Dude, I cried in the theater almost. Like I was so close to tearing up when Pepper came over there. She was like, "You can finally rest," because he hasn't been able to sleep well in like the past 2 or 3 movies. And she was like, "You can finally rest, Tony. We'll be all right." And I was like, and this little light up thing lit off. I was like, "No, no."
Yeah, I felt it. Because I was thinking like it was gonna be like the heartfelt, like good kind of like you can finally rest, like guys, I'm not dead, like don't worry about it. But like no, it's just like no, he's done.
Yeah. Then
Like,
what's even worse is he finally saves Spider-Man. They barely got a reunion, and then right after that, now Spider-Man got to mourn for him. And like we all had a theory that Tony Stark was gonna die because he wasn't anywhere in that trailer for Spider-Man 2, for the new Spider-Man movie coming out. And it was like we were thinking like something must have happened to Tony because he's not even listed as a cast member in that movie. I think which somebody was talking about. So that's how we kind of knew something probably happened to him.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, when it comes to Marvel in them, they're much better at keeping things under wraps, as I mentioned at the beginning of this whole entire thing. But what else though? Oh yeah. That real quick, continuing on the tangent that it makes sense that Thor would be the broken mess. Like Tony Stark went through his thing. Captain America, Steve Rogers, like he's kind of the thing that holds the team together for the most part. Like, and it just wouldn't really be right or like him to have him fall apart like that. Like Hulk, Steve Bannon. Yes. Yeah,
what's that clicking sound?
Oh, sorry. It's a Magna thing. No, not Steve Bannon. Oh shoot, that's
Bruce
the worst
Banner.
possible thing. Bruce Banner.
Ooh, him and that Hulk thing was so funny, dude. Especially when they were getting lunch. That joke was hilarious, bro. I was actually laughing, dude. Like, I don't like when people like laugh super obnoxiously in movie theaters when it's not really that funny. That joke was actually funny. I was actually laughing. And yes, I clapped when Spider-Man came out too. I was one of those guys that was clapping when Spider-Man came out. Like, yeah. All right, but anyways.
Because like after all this time with the Hulk, like he's always been fighting with himself. It's like, do I stay this guy? Like I'm a demon, I'm a monster. Don't look at me. Or like, no, I must keep him under control, or I must control him. And he finally has it under control in the most annoying way possible.
Why is it annoying?
Because it's like that kind of person who hit rock bottom, finally fixed his life, and you're happy for him, but he kind of sells it in a certain way that's like, all right, dude, I get it. Please shut up. Like they even said so. Like I liked you when you were any of the other two.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah.
And it was in the sense of like, we don't hate this new you, but it's annoying on a certain level. But I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it is kind of weird because I was thinking like, isn't he just the same person? But he's not, because Bruce was like very eccentric, and he was just so paranoid and nervous and shaky all the time. And then Hulk is Hulk. And then, like, the two together, he's just so happy and therapeutic now. So it's so weird. He's like, yeah, guys, it's all good, man. Don't worry about it. And it's just like, it's just weird, and it's just like, so can he not go back to his human form now? I guess they're just fused forever now. I guess he's this big green dude.
A big green. I think he has control, but I think he really wants to own this Hulk.
Well, no, not own. Remember how he worded it. They're working together. They're working together. You made sure to make that known.
Okay, my bad. They're working together.
There you go. You made sure to make that known.
So, that was a fun ride. We're reaching a Super Mario Galaxy situation again, which is that now that we've finally made it to the end of this, and that is the crazy thing. Like they have this plan more or less from the beginning.
Oh, are you about to say what are you gonna go with this? Because I'm about to go ahead and debunk that quick, bruh. They haven't scratched the surface of intergalactic Marvel stuff. There's still the Living Tribunal. There's so much intergalactic crap, bro. There's Doctor Doom. They didn't even bring him in there. There's Galactus. There's all this crap they can bring in. Like, they barely scratched the surface to this jump, bro. Like, buddy. That's why I was pissed that they off Tony Stark's in them already. Because it's like, we haven't even got to the big stuff. Yeah.
But that's like the thing. It's less so much about like all the other crazy Marvel stuff that has happened, but it's like how do they plan to execute it? Because yeah, like compared to comics where you can like have time go as far back or as long as you want, you are unfortunately working on the time of real life people, whether they age, whether they're actually still alive, whether or not they get caught up in some kind of controversy where they can't work in Hollywood ever again.
Yeah.
Like time isn't on your side in the same way of comics, but then also trends and popularity and things change. Like oddly enough, in the Avengers movie, apparently Fortnite is still going to be popular 5 years later, but we can't quite say the same about Marvel movies further down the road. Like when Disney bought Star Wars, they thought they had this huge money making thing on their hands, and they're doing pretty well. But the Han Solo movie is making things look a little bit shaky because that didn't perform as well. So like it's kind of a two-part thing. Is like, yes, where is the story going to go? But will this story also be good enough to keep people interested in the Marvel movies continuing forward?
I think so. As long as but like I said, it's gonna be really shaky though. Without, I think they can stand up on their own 2 feet because I feel like the actors they have are still really funny. But I definitely feel like Tony and Steve brought a certain thing to their group that nobody else can bring. Tony was the smart guy that was really sarcastic, and kind of selfish in some ways, which we brought his own thing, and then Chris was just like the good boy, like, no guys, I do the righteous thing. No, he was just a pure guy, you know what I'm saying? And it was their dynamic in the group was like something that can't be taken away. Thor is still really hilarious. Then we don't have Scarlet Witch anymore. Not Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
I'm tripping. Scarlet Witch is there. We don't have Black Widow. That hurt my feelings.
That one, yeah, I'm kind of upset about a little bit. Only because, like, really, there's no way you could have like game the system. Really, no way. Like, she didn't get her own movie. She didn't really get her own real plot line, and now she's just gone.
Oh, she is getting her own movie though now. Well, they already announced it. Yeah, she's getting her own movie. That's why everybody was shocked that she died in the movie. It's like, but she's getting her own. But see, her movie's a prequel though, for what I heard.
Like Captain Marvel situation where like,
yeah,
we're gonna dig into it, but it's probably not gonna be about her by the end of it.
I mean, it is, but I think it's gonna be more like it's a prequel to everything that's happened. So I think it's gonna be about her, but probably like her origins and stuff like that. Probably, I think.
That's gonna be a risky maneuver. Like, if they like, I feel like they should delegate that or relegate that. Although it's Scarlett Johansson, so maybe she's not for TV shows and stuff. But they did have like Luke Cage and Iron Fist and stuff on Netflix. Like, that would be perfect. I'm kind of hesitant for them to put the time and money into a prequel that may not actually play that big of a part. But
I see what you're saying, because Black Widow is cool and she's hot, but she's not like the Hulk or Thor. She's just like a person. Like,
yeah, like some people were mentioning that Scarlet Witch, she might actually be a character worth having, like her own Marvel movie.
She's one of the most powerful characters. Like, I think she was probably the strongest character out in that field. Besides, well, Thor was nerfed because of his ugliness, and freaking and Captain Marvel's broken too. Captain Marvel was like the Superman of them. But speaking of which, did you know? I didn't know. I knew that girl looked familiar. Scarlet Witch. That's an Olsen.
Like in one of the Olsen twin sisters, but not the Olsen twins.
Yeah, she's she's their sister. Like, I knew something was up, because I'm like, she looks so familiar, but I can't put my hands on it. And like, I looked it up, and because I was watching some kind of interview they had, and her name came up, and it said Elizabeth Olsen. I'm like, what? She's an Olsen twin? Not an Olsen, but not a twin, but she's one of the sisters. And and she's not too much younger than them. She looks just like them too. And I think she was in, I think she was the baby in Full House. One of the babies, I think.
It was the Olsen twins that were the babies.
Okay. Yeah. Just making sure. Yeah, I know when they got older, that was definitely the Olsen twins in there, but I wasn't sure because they kept showing her picture in there. But she's one of them, and when you see her next to them, they look like triplets. Like, she's taller than they are, like much taller than they are. But yeah, I was like, wow, I didn't know that. But yeah,
Honestly, one of the biggest Hollywood tragedies I would say is that the Olsen twins didn't stay in acting, because who knows what they would be up to.
the Olsen.
Like, I fully respect their decision to stay doing whatever else they're doing. I think it's a fashion line and perfume, but like, imagine if they stayed in the acting gig.
I don't know, man. I wish they just loved themselves enough to not do what they did to themselves to me. Because they were beautiful before they did that. I used to have a crush on them when I was younger, dude. I used to love the Olsen twins, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's Hollywood for you.
Them drugs, definitely Panther. But we're about to go ahead and wrap this up. Movie was emotional, made me sad. Good job, Hollywood. Good job, Marvel. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. Rest in peace, Tony Stark.
Yeah, shoot.
You know, big ups to all of them. But we're going to wrap this up. This podcast is getting pretty long. Now, before we go, we'll keep this short. Is there, Panther, I think you're the only one that's really active in the chat. Do you have a question for us? Oh, okay, you're there too, Q. All right, so both of you guys get one viewer question each, and we'll keep it really short before we end.
Just like Spider-Man, everybody gets one.
Flush Hollywood, support B movies. Hollywood sucks. Okay, we all agree on that. But yeah, both of you two get a question each. It doesn't have to be related to what we were just talking about. It can be pretty much anything technically, as long as it's like safe to put on YouTube. It can't be something too like out there. It gotta be like a slightly safer word.
Dear LoXus and DT-Faux, how much drugs did you guys actually do today?
But yeah.
Well, you see, young Timmy, I did so much drugs that it's practically illegal.
Little did you know. No, I'm joking. But yeah. I'll give it a couple of minutes to. All right, so you have no questions, Q. Okay, what about you, Panther?
How about you, Loxdroid? You seem like an upstanding young fellow.
Don't forget to follow me on Twitter.
Don't forget to like, fave, subscribe, and ring that bell for more notifications.
Oh my goodness, I hate when people say that. I like how everybody's starting to sneak in those ads now. Like in their videos, like, and people are getting smart because they know people will try to skip over the ad part when they're talking about it in there, and they'll like put in the middle of the video. Like, I don't know, like they'll just cut in the middle of their little talking they're doing on YouTube. Anyways, what are some technological advances? What are some technological advances are you expecting for the future of gaming? I'm thinking that in the future, I feel like in the future, VR is going to be a lot bigger than it is now. I feel like people are playing around more with VR, but I feel like it's not too big. But I feel like in the future of gaming, we're not going to have controllers anymore. I feel like, controllers are going to be an option, but I feel like a lot of this shit is going to be like in our brain. We're going to be wearing like these goggles or something, and everything's just going to be pretty much VR for the most part. I feel like we're going to have less cables, less wires for things. I feel like as time progresses, because we're gonna have less of that type of thing. I think eventually game consoles are gonna be obsolete, sort of. I feel like at some point everything's gonna be possibly streamed, potentially. That may not happen because there's way more money getting cases and stuff like that. But you also get a lot of money, from doing monthly payments, because also, so it's weird. But I definitely feel like streams for games are gonna be really hot in the future. I'll tell you about what I said. I feel like streaming for games is gonna be really hot in the future. I feel like we're gonna have less cables and wires for our gaming. I feel like a lot of things are gonna be more wireless, and I feel like VR is gonna be really hot in the future. And that's my quick synopsis. What about you, DT?
It depends on how much technology advances, because by people's perspective back in the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, we were supposed to have flying cars by now. Let's see how that's going. So I don't think I can't see VR being the future of gaming, only because people are starting to realize its limitations to the fullest extent, which is that not everyone wants to play every single game in the first person. Not everyone wants everything to be up in their face, up in their grill when it comes to playing video games. Like, there's only so many playstyles you can really do, not even counting people getting motion sick from VR sometimes. So there's still going to be some hard limitations on that. I do agree with you that things will become more wireless. I don't know how much longer that will be, but like as things get cheaper, technology gets cheaper, it becomes more consumer purchasable. That's going to be an option for sure. I can't see things changing too much as far as traditional games go. Physical media is going to go the way of the dinosaur. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but definitely eventually. And I think we might eventually reach a video game singularity to the extent of everything being on PC, or Sony and Nintendo and maybe Microsoft and some unnamed company will eventually start creating their own computers so they can sell their own games exclusively, or create a store like the Epic Game Store, except rather than Epic, it'll be a Nintendo game store or a Sony game store so they can sell their games exclusively. Um, Capitalism is going to keep things going in a certain way that it will never be as convenient as having everything on a single platform. And that's for better and for worse, because you don't want a monopoly where people can control everything, but at the same time, you do want to make things more convenient and easier. And I don't know. We'll just have to see as time goes on.
I agree with all that. Back to the VR thing though, like I feel like people may have been saying the same thing about a lot of things that we have these days back in the day. Like, this sounds ridiculous. It's like we're in the testing phases of it. People aren't liking it now, so it may not work in the future. But you never know what could happen, because 20 years from now, maybe VR maybe they could fix it up to the point where people just want to do that all day, you know? So.
It's very likely, but I do also distinctly remember people trying VR for the first time. And then in the same extent, like 3D movies, like 3D was on the rise where you thought everyone would have a 3D TV and 3D glasses, until people started to realize how lazy they were and didn't always want to wear glasses just to watch movies. So that's why that's been relegated to movie theaters, but it's finally has like a grasp in movie theaters. So it'll find its niche. There will always be an audience. I just can't see VR replacing traditional gaming as a whole or becoming way more popular. But as more people figure out cool tricks, as things become wireless, as things become cheaper, it'll be more accessible. It'll be another option in the same way, like whether you want to play basketball or baseball, as opposed to baseball replacing basketball or vice versa.
I can see that. I can agree with that at least then. For the last question here, it's the King's birthday today. How are you going to celebrate? I don't really have any major plans to celebrate it. I'm probably just going to work, and my friend's been bugging me forever to play tennis, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that out the way so we can do that today. But I don't really have any major plans to celebrate that. What about you?
But I'm curious what they mean by the King's birthday today. Like, which king?
Because it's not Martin Luther King's today, is it? I don't think it's Martin Luther King's birthday. But
no, that's January.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess.
Yeah. QQ, which king are you talking about?
Oh, the King of Sweden.
King of Sweden?
Oh.
Who cares? Oh.
Ooh. All right, guys. This is a fun podcast. Time to. No, I'm joking. But. Shoot! Shoot, boy. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh,
happy birthday,
my goodness.
Hope you have many more years ahead of you.
Oh my goodness, bro. All right, well, guys, this is a cool podcast. We're about to go ahead and start closing things out. DT-Faux, tell them where they can find you. But don't tell them where they can actually find you for that comment. But tell them where they can find you.
So if you want to see some dumb tweets and or the very rare pictures that I post, because I really need to get back into drawing more, you can find me at DT-Faux on Twitter. You can find my old Let's Plays at DT-Faux Classic on YouTube. If you want to find the newer ones, you could find DT-Faux Gaming on YouTube. And that's pretty much all where you can find me that I care for you to find me at.
All right. As for me, you can find me. I stream here on LoXus twitch.tv. LoXus_TV at twitch.tv. This will also be uploaded on my YouTube, but you can also follow my other YouTube videos at SG_LoXus. I changed the link because I want everything to be the same, so you can, like with DT-Faux, if you want to type my name in, you can just find me easily on different social media. So I changed my YouTube to SG_LoXus. Same thing for my Twitter, SG_LoXus. That's pretty much the only social media I have so far. You can find me there. I stream usually every day around the same time, around 8 o'clock. Sometimes earlier, sometimes later. Weekends, it's ambiguous. Like when I stream, it's like whenever and however long. Even for the people that's watching me via stream right now, I will be streaming later 2 after I get off work. So expect the stream tonight as well. Other than that, that's pretty much it for me.
And so last but not least, if you have any questions you want to ask outside of the podcast, you can send emails to P4FX@gmail.com. That's PAUSE, the number 4, and the letters F and X @gmail.com. Please.
Send us stuff. Please forgive me. No,
We're so lonely. But yep. Anyway, that's it for the episode. It's been a fun ride. On to the new Avengers, New Horizons, Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh boy, the Sonic movie. Oh, that's going to be real good.
I can't wait. But I'll see you guys next week, man. You guys take it easy.
All right, peace. Bye.
Peace, love, and happiness.